Okay, so we are live and hello guys. So we will continue from the previous video where we stuck on this group anagram question, and I was able to do it with lot of trial and error, and I found a simple way to do this kind of question. So first we are going to build a function. So to implement this group anagram, what we need is first a function where we can identify between two anagrams. So let's build that. So mind you, it's not a optimized solution. It was a solution that I came up with through trial and errors. So we will look into a optimized solution after we first complete uh, this way of problem solving. What we say, this way of problem solving. So just let me create the function. Let's just define it with define this with a function. Function is anagram, which is, so basically I mostly use arrow functions, so I'm not used to the function type of syntax. So it could be so the syntax could be, so from my side the syntax could be wrong, but that's why I'm using VS Code, so that I can identify where is this problem coming from. Okay, simply for this part we are not going to uh, use any optimized solution, because what I'm going to do is directly sort and compare the two strings and give the results, so it won't be very optimized. We can implement the part where we um, go through the object and we eliminate all the other uh, what we say. So basically the optimized solution of this is an anagram function. For now we are not going to implement that. So what we are going to do, simply if as dot length, first string dot length is not matches with this, then we return, we can directly do this, return false, and if it matches then we can return as dot, first we need to split it, split, then we can sort, then we can join. Same way we can do for our t string. so so it's implemented, and now what we can do here, we can implement this. So the first thing that I figure out that we need an object to solve this question, because we are going to group everything into that. So actually I solved this question 2 days ago. So my memory is quite faded from that solution. So assume that I'm doing this thing from scratch, but I know the basic idea behind it to solve the um, so the basic logic that I know to solve this question. So first, what we are going to do is we are going to sort inner elements. So these elements inside the array, we are going to sort it. So let's just call this function below group anagrams like this, and we can create a new array, inner sorted strings. So what we need to do is map through all the strings dot map, then inside that string we can return this sorted string. So we can copy that whole chained functions to this, so that way we get the inner sorted string. So let's console log and check. I hope it's visible on the screen. Let me check first. It should be. So anyway, let me just zoom it in, zoom zoom in a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, so you can see some of them are duplicates. So from that we are going to create an object. So the duplicate will be filtered out if we console log the object. So let's just create const unique objects. Now what we can do here is we can do a certain operation below this. So we can take inner strings dot for each, because we are not going to return any array or anything. So we are just going to update our unique object, and because later we are going to compare every key element to our original string array and get the what we say respective anagrams. So let me show you. So here we are going to create, and we are going to assign it to array. So we are going to fill that particular key, particular keys anagram respectives to this array. So let me just console log it. So it will be clear. So as you can see, there are three unique strings, and others are will be going to anagrams of these, one of these. So what we need to check is, we will first check for this act, and whenever we see the is anagram true, then what we are going to do is just push that element into this object, and same for all of these. It's not an optimized solution, but it gets the job done. We can optimize it later. We just need to I'm just here to build my logic, and I think this is the first step. So the these steps are clear. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to loop through this object. So what we are going to do is for in. I think with for in we can loop through an object. Yes, correct. Then let's just remove this, and so for each key we are going to compare this with all of the strings and find if it's anagram or not, and if it is, then we are going to push into that respective array. Otherwise we are not going to do that. So if is anagram, so first will be the key, and second okay, so here is the first loop. We are going to need a second loop also. So we can actually use for each for the strings also. So let's just do that. For each string, like this. Now what we need, a condition in which is anagram, okay, key, and then respective string. So whenever it's true, what we are going to do is object dot key dot push that string into an assigned array in the object. So let's just see via console log how we are getting this. So like this we are able to get anagram for this key, and same for every anagram for this key, and every anagram for aht, which is a single, it has no anagram, so only this will be the resulting array. Now the problem is almost done. We just need to uh, update the structure of our output. So it's an object. What we need to do is add this into an array. So we can create another resultant array, and we can loop through this object. So again with foreign we will loop values, and that way here if we console log, we will get the result like this, and we can return it. Now we can remove all the console logs and we can check, and this function should be there inside uh, this function also, because in the actual question there is no inbuilt function for checking if there is an anagram or not. So let's just copy and paste it and run it. Okay, so it does work. Now what we can do is we can, let me submit it if it's true for all or not. Okay, so what we can do now is see the optimized result by using ChatGPT, because it will be very easier. Okay, what will be the time complexity and of my solution, and how can we improve that? Of m log n. Okay, so this was expected. Each, so your solution time complexity, you wrote solution that sorts every string once. Okay, so it will be m log n. Creates map of unique sorted string, which is o log n. Double loops to compare each original string against each unique key, which is again o m log n. Worst case, okay, it will be n square. So this is too slow for n 1000 and m 100. To improve, we can avoid the quadratic loop repeated sorted by using hash map keyed by sorted string. Okay, so what it does is, same way it loops through. Okay, so this solution is quite easier than the solution we got. So what it does is get the key, which is string of strings. Okay, it got the map, and key will be this. If it doesn't exist, then it's an empty array, or if it does, okay, object dot values. It was very short. We just wrote a long code for this, quite lengthy code, with creating everything and declaring so many variables. We can also do that. Let's try the method that ChatGPT gave us. So first we declared a map constant, which is an object, and we will loop through with for. We have to do something different, right? So not index, man, only I. Okay, so for map const key is equal to the sorted one, so string I. Now what we are going to do is going to sort the string. So to do that we need to first split it. Split, then sort, then join. Now what we can do is if map dot key exist, because first is if it exists, let's do the opposite. Then what we can do, map dot key dot push the original string, which is I, else we can define the empty array. So let's just see the value of map at the end of this operations. So okay, so we got the uh, result, but one thing is missing, which is original value of this anagram comparison. Okay, I think I got it. So at that time we can also get this, right? So we will get the same answer. So at first we just need to add the original element, then we will push it, and we can return map dot values. Object dot values map, and this is the right way, this is the correct syntax to get only the values. I was using this result and pushing that into array, which is not a good way to do that. What happened? Okay, now we can run it. And is there anything? Okay, the test cases are accepted. And so for this, I think the time complexity would be, because we are looping through and we are splitting inside, which is m square log n, which is worse. Which is this type of thing, n into m log m. Sorry, let's see the even faster solution. So I mean, it did the sorting with some characters. This is the fastest approach, and the fastest approach is also on the worst case scenario, it will be n square, because we are looping here too. But it is better, it is better than this n square log n. So we need to understand this part, because I know there is a function in JavaScript which is from which we can get the character code and its position. It somehow manipulated that part to sort the inner elements. I will look into it, and if I get the understanding, I will make another video. So that's it for the today's video. Then I will create another one